welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me Shail Bhatnagar. Well, the Nifty is now up for 4 days in a row. It's the expiry session of the April FNO series for the Nifty, and the series entirely has been quite a volatile one. The Nifty had scaled to a new peak, then corrected 1,000 points from those levels, and now is clawing back to most of those levels as well. And for today, of course, all the eyes will be on the big bang earnings from HUL, Axis Bank, LTI, Mindtree, Dalmia Bharat and many more, and of course on Kotak Mahindra Bank that came under the scrutiny of RBI yesterday and was under the ban as well. Good morning all the viewers and good morning Shail. All right. We'll try and...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all on Business Today. It's a very, very important day as far as the Nifty is concerned. Of course, we see the end of the April expiry today, it being 25th of April as also the last working Thursday on the markets. Two very important events are going to impact both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. One positive, which is the absolutely stellar set of fourth quarter earnings coming in from Axis Bank. There is an increase in net interest income, there is an increase in profit, and there is an increase in margin. And there is a negative impact, which is the very serious action that RBI has taken on Kotak Bank. Let's first look at what the Nifty is there. Ladies and gentlemen, both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty are at a 10-day high, and therefore they are facing two kinds of resistances. One is at 22,450 as far as the Nifty is concerned, and if you look at a bit deeper, there is a gap between April 12th and April 15th. Nifty had opened gapped down on April 15th, and there is a 70-point gap which needs to be filled. Now that's filled with all sorts of resistances, and therefore you see the problem that the Nifty is facing. Therefore, as of the monthly expiry, the trend for the Nifty for today is at least flat, unless it conclusively moves above 22,450, of which we'll discuss in a bit of a detail. So at a 10-day high, the Nifty is facing a resistance. For the last two trading sessions, the trading range of the Nifty has narrowed down to 70-80 points, and that points to the fact that there is an up move or a down move there. Now, if you look at the entire expiry of April, the Nifty did practically nothing. It was down about 0.3%, and it's the FII selling pressure which is creating a tremendous amount of resistance to any up move. If you look at the last 11 trading sessions, the net sales of foreign institutional investors exceed about 18,000 crore rupees. That's a bit of a negative. Now let's look at the Nifty option chain. I'll highlight the positives. There is a very, very serious in the money option which is getting short covered, so therefore bears are going away, and there is a very, very serious put writing happening at Nifty's levels of 22,350 and 22,300, which basically means that bulls are creating very, very strong supports at 350 and at 300. Now where is the resistance? Exactly in that gap. It's at 22,450 and at 22,500. So any move that comes towards 350, remember the index shut shop at 22,400 yesterday, needs to be purchased. Any move towards 370, 380, 350, and if we are lucky, because of the kind of accident that we'll see in opening trades on Kotak Bank, you'll see the Nifty and the Bank Nifty moving lower. Therefore, any move towards 22,350 needs to be purchased, and anything above 22,450 needs to be purchased. At that point of time, the Nifty will move into a higher orbit. So a resistance at about 450, that's because of the gap between April 12th and April 15th. If that gap is taken up, then we move higher into orbits of about 22,500 each. So buy the dip towards 22,350, 22,320, and buy it in the weekly expiry of May the 2nd. That's what is happening on the Nifty. Now let's look at the Bank Nifty. Again, the same gap that was there between April 12th and April 15th is also bothering the bank nifty. That's a 200-point zone, and you see a very strong resistance coming in at about 48,200. Any move above 48,200 because of the stellar set of earnings that have come in from Axis Bank will be appreciated by the market, and that is the call that you take as far as the Nifty Bank is concerned. Now, a lot of movement is expected on Axis Bank on the positive side. RPCR will draw a daily chart for you. Remember, the stock has done practically nothing as far as the quarterly change is concerned, and as also the annual change in terms of stock price compared with other private public sector banks. Axis Bank has been a laggard, but today things will change, and they will change dramatically for the better. Just a point of note, net interest margin has improved dramatically to about 4.06%. There is a massive drop in the gross non-performing asset. It's the lowest in the past 34 quarters at about 1.43%, and the net NPA is also the lowest in 35 quarters at about 0.31%. A huge improvement has happened in the top line. The profit and loss has beaten all expectations. Net interest income has come in at 13,088 crores versus 12,803 crores, and the profit after tax is 7,129 crores in the fourth quarter compared with 6,207 crores. A very handsome beat as far as Axis Bank is concerned. This is the stock for watch today. Now we'll also look at Kotak Bank. There has been, ladies and gentlemen, a very serious regulatory move on the digital business of Kotak Bank by the Reserve Bank of India. Kotak Bank has been stopped temporarily from getting customers digitally, and its credit card business has been temporarily paused by the Reserve Bank of India because of some regulatory issues in managing and keeping records digitally. Now Kotak Bank will open gap down somewhere in the vicinity of 1750 or so, and then probably stagnate. So it's not an opportunity to buy the dip in Kotak Bank, but definitely an opportunity to go long. That's the broader move as far as Nifty, Bank Nifty, Axis Bank and Kotak Bank are concerned. Sakshi.
Okay, let's also look at how the global cues are shaping up. It was a quiet and lackluster equity market overnight for the US. The S&P 500 was just about flat with a positive bias. Nasdaq inched higher, about 0.1% in trade. US Treasury 10-year yields also jumped by 4 basis points to 4.64%. The Middle East headlines partially soured the sentiment as Israel said it struck around 40 sites linked to Hezbollah in southern Lebanon as well. But all the indices managed to eke out some gains in yesterday's trading action. Now, when we talk about the Asian markets, they took a breather after 2 straight days of rallies, mirroring the moves on the Wall Street ahead of the US first quarter gross domestic product figures that are due on April 25. The Nikkei was down sharply, 1.6% lower, as investors are going to be monitoring the outcomes from the Bank of Japan, especially for any action to restrict the yen weakness as well. So that's been an overhang on Nikkei, and then Kospi also down by 0.9%. It's Hang Seng and Shanghai that's still looking up, 1.1% uptake on the Hang Seng index for now. Trends in the Gift Nifty are indicating a slight negative start for the broader index in India. A loss of about 61.5 points or 0.2% in trade. As far as the flows are concerned, the FII's net sold shares worth about 2,511 odd crore rupees, while domestic institutional investors bought about 3,809 crore rupees worth of stocks in yesterday's trading action. The key stocks to watch, of course, the first one, as Shail mentioned, will be Kotak Mahindra Bank, which will be in focus after RBI has directed it to seize and to desist any issue of fresh credit cards or the onboarding of new customers through the online and mobile banking channels. Of course, brokerage houses have reacted to this. Many have cut the target prices on this one as well. So there could be an immediate impact that you could see as a knee-jerk reaction to this one. A gap down opening is expected. Now, when we talk talk about Axis Bank here, stupendous set of numbers have come in, so this stock could be reacting very positively in trade today. Now NIIs were up 11% odd at 13,089 odd crores. The net profit came in at 7,130 crores versus a loss of 5,728 crores. So the bank has turned into black. Asset quality has seen improvement, and the bank has also approved raising of up to 20,000 odd crore rupees via shares and 35,000 crore rupees via bonds as well. So we'll see how the stock will react to this one. HUL consolidated numbers, here it was weak because revenues were down 0.04% at 15,200 odd crores. EBITDA was down 1% at 3,535 crores. Margins were down 25 basis points at 23.24%, and the net profit was down 1.5%. Indian Hotels, good set of earnings coming in. Net profit up 29.27% at 438 crores. Revenues up 17% at 1,905 crores, and the margins also inched higher by 165 basis points at 34.6%. Macrotech developers, again, when you saw that the company has reported an 11% decline in the consolidated net profit to 665 odd crore rupees in the March quarter, but for the full year, the company has registered a threefold jump in the profits to 1549 crore rupees. We expect a positive tick as far as this one is concerned. Dalmia Bharat, the cement maker, has reported a net profit of 315 crores. In the previous quarter, the net profit came in at 266 crores. The company's revenue has risen 10% on a year-on-year basis to 4,307 crores this time around as well. So those are some of the stocks that I'm keeping an eye out on as well. All right, but like we said, Kotak Mahindra Bank, that will be the first one that we'll be watching out for. We did speak to Gurmeet Chadha, the managing partner and the CIO of Complete Circle Investments, to really understand what would this mean for the bank, what could be the immediate impact, and does he really expect that the bank will be derated now? Listen in.
Known for higher compliance and solid governance, but these days, nothing surprises me. Even HDFC had a similar issue a couple of years back. I think there are two impacts. One is sentimental, one is financial. On financial, I think the impact is limited because the cards are only 4% of the loan book. In fact, on even the market share on cards is around 4%. So home loan LAP is 27%, corporate book is 23%, PL, etc. is another 5%. It's well diversified. Uh, and the observations, in my view, are sentimentally bad because when you do an audit of CBS and IT infrastructure, and you find a lot of frequent outages, it doesn't go well with banks, especially marquee banks like Kotak or even SDFC in the past. And I think RBI is sending one very strong message that, so if you see 99% of the cards they've acquired has been digitally acquired. The 811 account which they started, they have been digitally opened. So they are very clear, RBI, that if your digital infrastructure is not up to the mark, irrespective of the reputation, I think RBI will take it down. So that's one message which goes to all banks. So what this does is it's sentimentally more negative in my view than financial. I think financial will come back. And there could be some shift of allocation. Kotak is well owned across institutions. We've just seen Axis report good numbers. We saw that with HDFC allocation moving to ICICI and few other banks. Something similar may also play out. But I don't think so there's any reason for panic as such. I think it will play out in its due course.
All right, so there Gurmeet Chadha really talking about no need for panic as of now, but definitely there could be a knee-jerk reaction and some more derating really coming in, especially on the language that the RBI has used. There is some kind of a seriousness and stiffness when we see the kind of statement that has come in. We've also seen brokerage houses reports come in on Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Jeffries on Kotak Mahindra Bank has given a whole rating with the target price that has been slashed to 1970 rupees as well. As the RBI has pointed out, these material gaps as far as the IT services are concerned, so there could be an impact on this one as well. We'll now be waiting and standing by for our guest to also join in. Meanwhile, anything else, Shail, that you want to talk about apart from Kotak, Axis Bank, the banking space?
To point out that the gap down, after the gap down that you see in Kotak, do not attempt to short it. We are in a bull market. The gap down will more than adequately take care of the pains that RBI has pointed out, and at that point of time, whether it is a buy or not, that remains to be seen, but it is definitely not going to be further short. So keep that in mind when Kotak Bank opens 3, 4, 5% lower. Just don't go short in it. All that pain that has come in because of this overnight stance of the RBI will be absorbed in the gap down. Now let's look at 4 companies which are in the Nifty going to report earnings. It's Bajaj Finance, IndusInd Bank, Nestle and Tech Mahindra. Most probably IndusInd Bank and Tech Mahindra will declare earnings after markets close. A very keen eye will be on Bajaj Finance because that's the bellwether for the NBFC space. Within the FNO, there are 6 companies that are going to declare the earnings today. My eyes are centered on ACC and Vedanta. Apart from that, you will have IT company L&T Technology Services, Pharma stock Laurus Labs and Coromandel International declaring numbers. Today is also the listing of the FPO of Vodafone Idea. We'll be dipping into the management when they approach the National Stock Exchange, as also there will be some announcement on Inox Wind as far as a bonus issue is concerned. Apart from all the points that we've mentioned, anything that is against equities in the global market, which is crude oil, it's quiet, US 10-year yield, very nominal, dollar index, all quiet, and of course gold futures. All these move against equities, all of them are very quiet, so it's going to be a normal expiry. If Nifty moves above 22,450, we go long, and if Bank Nifty moves above 48,200, we go long. Sakshi.
Let's again look at all the brokerage houses reports that we are getting this morning, and then we will wait for Devin Choksi to join us in a bit. Like I pointed out, apart from Jefferies on Kotak Mahindra Bank, which has actually slashed a 1970 and given a 1970 target price, we've actually seen CLSA still being an giving an outperform rating here with a target price of 2100, and again Citi is also neutral on the bank with a 2040 kind of a target right now. So these two brokerage houses do not see that much of an impact on bank right here. Morgan Stanley on Axis Bank has come up with an overweight rating with a target price of 1450. It does believe that the average deposit growth has come in as a positive amid the tight liquidity situations. The ROA remains strong. CET1 ratio has improved sequentially as well, and deposit growth acceleration is the next key re-rating catalyst for the bank, is what they believe. Apart from this, AU Small Finance Bank, that's another one that's on the top radar of Morgan Stanley. Here they've come out with an overweight rating and an 850 kind of a target price. They also believe that of course the bank has been able to post a profit before tax at 14%, which is above the estimates, mainly led by the lower provisions, and therefore they are positive on the bank right here, the Small Finance Bank. As far as LTI Mindtree is concerned, Goldman Sachs has come out with a report with a buy rating, a target price of 5,770, and they do believe the revenue has been a miss, but the commentary suggests continued weakness in discretionary enterprise spending and no meaningful change in the overall demand environment, and therefore there could be some kind of a subdued expectation going forward. They also expect growth to return from the next quarter onwards and not immediately as of now. So those are the kind of reports that I'm looking at. Of course, on HUL, there's one more report that's come in on from HSBC. There's a hold call and a target of 2,300 rupees with a Q4 volume, underlying sales growth below expectations as per them, and the outlook appears uncertain and the growth could be lackluster going forward. So again, a subdued report on the HUL front as well. On Indian Hotels, that's the last brokerage house that I'm looking at, Morgan Stanley, with an overweight rating, a target price of 529. They do believe that the EBITDA missed estimates. However, core business remains on track, but weaker than expected numbers in the international subsidiaries have actually driven the miss on the earnings this time around. They do believe that continued demand and muted supply growth in the core markets, multi-brand portfolio and strong free cash flows will keep them overweight on the stock of Indian Hotels. So those are some of the stocks that I'm watching at. Anything else, Shail?
Yes, actually, I think we'll be looking at a lot of rollover data as far as FNO is concerned, and as far as momentum is concerned, we see IT stocks that are moving into serious pain when we look at the entire F&O performance for the month of April. All 6 of them in the Nifty ended in losses. TCS down 1.9%, Tech Mahindra down 5.5% on a monthly basis. Remember, it's Tech Mahindra's earnings today. When you look at the rollover data, that's also disappointing. But given the fact that they have corrected decently, it is believed that you might see some bottom fishing happening here. Now, metals. We are looking at 4 metals within Nifty. Hindalco up 12.3%. You've seen aluminium prices globally rise very sharply. JSW Steel, Tata Steel, and Coal India. All 4 of these metal stocks within the Nifty have posted smart gains. Coal India is up 1.4% on a monthly basis. Hindalco is up 12.3%. Rollover data is very, very strong. So this momentum is most likely to continue given the dips. Very strong pain in FMCG. All 7 stocks in the FMCG index representing the Nifty are in pain. Titan is the worst performer, 6% down in April, and it has fairly decent rollovers. We'll wait for Devin Bhai to join us. He's here. Good morning to you, Devin Bhai, and a very warm welcome on Market Today. As always, it's such a pleasure to see you. What do you think of sentiment on Dalal Street at this point of time? The Nifty at a 10-day high, Bank Nifty is fairly fine. Apart from Kotak, the kind of moves that have come in from RBI, I think it's fairly stable on Dalal Street. What is your view, sir?
Hi, Shail. Good morning. Well, I think the market momentum is definitely continuing and continuing big time. We have seen in the last 2 months, particularly in the month of March and I think large part of April, a significant amount of corrections in the market, and probably I think that has created the ground for the rally in the market. Because when you are in a bull market and when you see the corporate fundamentals are supporting the bullishness, I would think that I think it is requirement of the market, which is the fund and the momentum. If in the last month, due to SEBI's announcement on the mid cap and small cap valuation, market corrected, I think it also gave an opportunity to buy into some of the good quality stocks, which also corrected along with the overall market. And that's where probably the investors are making a good amount of confidence, or they're bringing good amount of confidence into the market and putting new money. On the other side, if you look at it, mutual fund continues to receive about 20,000 crore per month kind of an SIP. Insurance companies' new business premium continues to be somewhere around 18-20% kind of a growth. The provident fund collection by the larger provident fund companies, including SBI and LICs, I think the amount is significantly higher, which they are normally deploying into the index funds. So all in all, the PSU index funds, all in all put together, I think you are seeing the larger amount of participation in the market. Liquidity-driven rally is continuing, and to my mind, I think this rally is not going to stop in hurry. Probably, I think you are going to see some moderation, correction, and opportunity therein. But otherwise, I think the market should remain fairly stable going forward as well. And some of the large cap companies which are not yet participating, I wouldn't be surprised. I think if this next 3 to 6 months time, they participate big time into the market going forward.
Right. Devin bhai, your feedback on how Axis Bank's earnings have just beaten all possible expectations on the long side, and the way they've managed their gross and net NPAs. What is your understanding of Axis Bank's earnings, and where do you think is the stock headed?
Well, I think on one side, we are looking at the earning in retrospect. If it was the last year or so, in which the retail business which they acquired, particularly the credit card business which they acquired from Citigroup, it had its impact in the books in this particular quarters in the last year. That situation is no more there. I guess I think the company had guided very well that they are not likely to see the larger impact continuing of the retail business that they acquired of Citigroup, and the normalization will have happened in the due course of successive quarters. So to that extent, the balance sheet part is now taken care of. On the other side, the lending part. according to me, I think this bank has created a very systematic approach towards a sustainable lending book. And that's where probably you get more confidence about the strategy working going forward as well. On the other side, because of the larger customer base which they've been acquiring, they are relatively getting the deposit at a competitive cost or a cheaper cost. So that is helping them maintain their NIM. So on one side, the balance sheet got corrected. On the other side, the business situation is happening strong. And at the same time, I think a strategy of acquiring the larger customers is actually helping them in bringing down the cost of what you call funds to a certain extent, even in the rising interest rate scenario. So all in all put together, I think it is reflected into the result. Yes, I do agree that I think it has beaten the expectations of the analysts. But overall, I believe that the strategy is working, and that's where I think one still have to remain more confident about the company going forward as well.
Very good morning to you, Devansa. Sakshi this side. I wanted to understand your view on the RBI's ban on Kotak Mahindra Bank and on restrictions of adding new customers via digital as well as issuing new credit cards. What did you make of the statement issued by the RBI, and what could be the impact on the bank now as well as the financials of the bank? How bad could it be hurt?
So, good morning, Sakshi. On one side, I think the regulator's actions are definitely, I think, acknowledged and appreciated, because that helps in building the market integrity very systematically. So that is absolutely appreciated. However, I think at some other point of time, when you look back into the records, you find that I think most of the actions are coming with a delayed action mechanism. Something which was there in 22, 23 or even earlier. I think that part is being right now being scrutinized, and I think the corrective actions are being taken. Whereas I believe that in the audit process, I guess I think the most of the things would have come on surface, and the bank would have probably taken care of whatever the situation it was. The regulator taking action on intermediary, I'm not against. But the fact is that I think it gives a very negative signal to the entire market. And that's where probably I think one will have to be a little bit more watchful. When you are looking at wealth creation as a process in the economy, all the stakeholders, including regulators, will have to be mindful about, I think, the way in which they take actions. I'm sure I think the Kotak Bank has given the clarifications, and probably I think they are on the path to bring the corrective approach in the following of the compliances. So to that extent, I think I would not get very disturbed. But yes, I think in the temporary period, you might see some amount of brakes applied onto the stock.
Okay. Well, the pre-opening rates are in,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have
I
pre-open
think
rates.
yes, sir.
Kotak Bank is now at its lowest since February 29th, down 10%. Please do not try to short it. All the negativity that is there is almost visible. It's the first circuit which is there in FNO stocks on the downside or the upside. Unfortunately, now on the downside at about 10%. We'll wait for the stock to react once it opens, but at the moment it will be sensible not to place shorts at this level. Now, given this weakness that is there, ICICI Bank is also opening 5% lower, 1042. The only sensible thing that has happened is Axis Bank, which is 2% higher, given the strong strength and the fabulous numbers that it's deployed. 1084, it's a beat on all possible expectations. So it's a fairly disappointing opening on the Nifty on expiry day. It's lost all the gains that it had made over the last 3 or 4 trading sessions, and now 340 points lower, 2061. We'll do a small detour into what is happening in the FNO space, and then look at how prices are moving. Apart from Axis, there is nothing to talk of. 5% downtick on Idea Cellular. Remember, the FPO gets listed today at 1240. The counter is again reversing all the gains that it had made the previous day. Reliance down 3%, 2810. ICICI Bank down 3.8%. It's a terrible set of opening that I have seen in recent times. Oracle Finance reacting negatively to its earnings, a percent lower, 73.20. And remember, these are the most active stocks that I'm talking about. It's a sea of red. NSE 500. Let's look at the top gainers there to get some idea as to where money is moving in. Nothing much to talk about. Himadri Specialty Chemicals 3.5% higher, 373. Craftsman Automation 2.3% higher, 47.11. Nothing much, ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty is now sensibly stabilizing, still down 200 points. There is absolutely no let up in Kotak, down 10%. Axis is improving, 2.3% higher. Earnings boy today, Bajaj Finance is flat. Tata Motors and ITC are also in the green. Devan bhai, coming to you, is a 10% downtick something to be worried around? Is this an overreaction or this is par for the course?
Sentiments are bound to get affected for sure. And according to me, I think suppose if I go into granular details about the business of the company, I feel that I think neither the credit card business nor the small deposit business, I think, which will get affected. If you look at, I think, the total component of saving deposits coming out of 811 accounts of Kotak, which is online account, which they are allowed, ask them not to go for further, is only 8% of the saving deposits. And I think if the credit card business has to be talked about, it's only 4% of the total business of the company. So frankly speaking, I think when you look at the overall understanding of the business, they do not affect the business beyond a point of time. If that is a fact that I think suppose if this particular ban is going to be, I think, for a longer period of time, then one will have to once again re-establish the numbers. But to my mind, I think given the strength of Kotak, given the kind of ability that this bank has produced all along, I believe that I think they would be taking the corrective course very fast, and maybe the regulator will look at I think them very very quickly because even regulator wants that the entities they perform their business in a normal course of time. So I'm not I think too much caught up. On the contrary, I think this could be an opportunity to buy if the stock is giving one in the corrective downside.
Okay. Apart from the two banks that we will be continuing to focus on throughout this edition, sir, what is your own sense of the sectors where you are now getting incrementally positive on? Where do you think value can be created, if not Kotak right now? And of course, focus will be now there for in the interim for Axis Bank, but beyond the banking space, sir.
So, Sakshi, I believe that instead of looking at the sectors, I think one will have to look at the individual companies and within those companies, the kind of moat that they would probably demonstrate going forward. So, suppose I think if we are talking about the businesses, then the renewable business and its entire ecosystem could be the one which can be directionally positive for groups like Tata's, for groups like Sadanis, for groups like Reliance, for that matter. I think it would be directionally positive. Whether I think they would start producing the result in 1 quarter, 1 year, I doubt. I think it will not happen. Because when the technology transition is taking place, it's normally a game of 8 to 10 years in which I think you basically establish yourself. And given the strength that these groups have, I think on the in the area of implementing the larger projects and to absorb the technology, the newer technologies, I believe that I think they would be relatively better off. So one will have to stay with a directional call at this point of time. While staying with a directional call, I think you might have to also look at individually some of the companies. Say, for example, companies which are in the storage mechanism. Say, for example, companies which are in the business of, I think, providing the engineering services to the entire green hydrogen subject, or for that matter, renewable subject. So, in my viewpoint, I guess I think I would stay focused on individual companies vis-a-vis the sector. Yes, directionally, you are likely to see growth continuing in the railway and railway ecosystem or the ancillaries who are supplying to railways. I think they would have larger growth to talk about. Defense and defense related companies, I think, will also have the larger growth to talk about. But unless you get the valuation in your favor, I guess I think you would be making a mistake of buying something which is very expensive. So, not taking any sectoral view, but I feel that individual stock specific
So could
views
you
will have to
take
be
some
taken
names, sir,
at
where
this
you
point
may
in time.
be looking to, at a positive direction playing out now for some of these stocks from these sectors that you're mentioning?
I think individual names may be many. Suppose I think instead of putting names, I think I'll again say give the reference to the companies. Those companies, say for example, who are technically talking about railway sector, those companies which are in engineering manufacturing systems, and those who are basically supplying the components which are based on engineers and the R&D, uh, with software embedded into them. I think we feel that I think they would have relatively better role to play in a given ecosystem. Otherwise, the larger players like ABB, Siemens, Larsen, BHEL, they are definitely known names, but they are not cheap. They are expensive. So sometimes I think you have to buy the ancillary companies to get into the mainstream, and that's where probably I believe that I think likes of DCX systems or somebody, I think in the or even Science DLM for that matter, such kind of companies would probably have relatively better role to play in the entire ecosystem. Having said this, I think these names are not recommendations. Please get a little bit more, I think, clarity from my side on disclosure. They are just giving it as a reference to the investors when they look at the companies for investment purpose.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's again focus on pre-open rates, and it's not looking good. The first two most active counters on Dalal Street today are sadly down 10%. Kotak we've discussed, 1665 for you. Already 270 crores rupees worth of orders have been punched in pre-open. Idea Vodafone, 11.8 rupees per share, down 10%, and this is worrying. 1445 crores worth of orders on Idea Cellular have been punched in. Devin bhai, one good thought is Axis Bank 3.5% higher, 1100. Would you buy at this level?
I am comfortable buying into Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, for that matter, even HDFC Bank. And of course, I think with the fall in Kotak, I think including Kotak Bank as well. My fundamental premise in this particular subject is that when the economy is growing and the size of the franchisee is strong, then probably I think they have a natural ability to participate in this growth program. Now, whether they will continue to grow at a 20% rate of CAGR growth or whether it will be, I think, about 20% rate of CAGR growth, it's an individual subject, I think, which one company to another company may differ to a certain extent. But I believe that I think each of these banks, including SBI, would remain a very strong proposition from the point of view of not only the credit lending, but also from the point of view of different other verticals that they have been building into their business. They have the potential to build the larger amount of value into those business, both in form of equity as well as monetization of its equity going forward.
Right, Devin bhai, thank you so much for your time and such prescient and wonderful comments on not only the markets but also individual stocks. Have a nice trading day, and I hope Axis Bank lives up to the reputation that you've pointed out. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll also be waiting for Mr. Rajesh Palvia. He's the head of technical research at Axis Securities. He'll be joining us very shortly. Let's also look at how markets have now settled. The Nifty sensibly 85 points lower, 22,316. Remember, it's the very strong support that is coming on the put writing which will now act. So this is an opportunity possibly to go long on the Nifty in early trades. Mr. Palvia will be a better person to judge that. But we must also remember you have to take the long positions in the May 2nd weekly expiry of Nifty calls and options. Let's look at what's other price ticks that have happened within the defense space. You have Hindustan Aeronautics opening 0.3% higher, 39.58. Within the PSU pack, there is a sea of green across the board. Business Today tracks about 78 PSUs for you. About 50 of them are opening in the green. Strong moves coming in on all three PSU railway stocks. Ircon 245, 1.5% higher. RVNL 288, 1.3% higher. Container Corporation about 4% higher at 981.75. What else is in the green? Let me just look at some high beta stocks that we track for you. What is moving? I'd like to see what Indian Hotels is doing. Sakshi, do you have the price?
1 second, I'll quickly check that one, Shell. But I think Indian Hotels has to open in the positive. But right now it's showing some bit of a decline, 2.9% of a decline right now, 590 right now for the stock, 18 rupees down for this one as of now.
What else are you watching?
Well, Shall, a whole host of other pharma-related counters that are buzzing in the pre-opening space. So, Cipla is up. Remember, yesterday it was again in one of those top movers, 0.6% higher. Divi's Laboratories continues to inch higher as well. Along with this, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories is up 0.4% odd in trade. Sun Pharma is picking up some pace, about 0.3% higher is what I can spot even Sun Pharma trading at. So, it could be another day when we could see the healthcare space really buzz in action. Along with this, of course, we will be keeping an eye out on the entire FMCG space led by HUL. Of course, for HUL, the stock has really done nothing for the last 2 to 3 years odd, and even in the quarterly results, no positive surprises. It just came in line with the low expectations that the earnings were reported as far as HUL is concerned. So as far as the consumer sentiment and the volume growth is concerned, that probably will remain lackluster and may not support the upside that we could expect on HUL. But on the downside, of course, the downside is limited because the valuations will continue to protect it from the downwards level. Right now, just about a percent lower at 22.38 for this one right now. But Nestle is going to be important to watch out for. Earnings will be reported and 0.2% of an uptick is what we can see. Nestle really inching at in the pre-opening levels. Shell.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 54-point downtick on the Nifty, nothing to be bothered about. This is where a lot of put support comes into action. Bulls will be there on the long side as far as the next weekly expiry is concerned. Okay, very quickly, Kotak down 8.9%. 1679, this is the impact of what the RBI has done. Axis Bank 3% higher, 1095. So Bank Nifty, ladies and gentlemen, is buffeted by a positivity on Axis Bank and negativity on Kotak. Bank Nifty itself is down 180 points, 48,000. This is a fairly decent opening. Let's look at the other index heavyweights before we move into FNO. I want to see what HDFC Bank is doing. At 1517, HDFC Bank is 6 rupees higher. What is Reliance up to? Reliance is now trading at 2890, down 10 rupees. How about Infosys? Infosys is flat at 1428. So nothing much is happening on the index because the three index heavyweights are not in sync with each other. Which is the top loser apart from Kotak? It's Hindustan Unilever, 1.2% lower, 2231. This is reacting to its earnings. Earnings boy today, Bajaj Finance, a third of a percent lower, 7303. I want to look at what Idea Cellular is doing. Okay, it's not as bad as it was thought to be. 2.6% lower, 1280. Very strong moves coming in terms of the turnover. Let's look at some more data on FNO, which are the top gainers as far as prices are concerned. Bharat Forge 3.7% higher, 1266. Axis Point 3% higher, 1097. Z Entertainment 1.9% higher, 142. Hind Copper no let up, 382.80. How about the most active counters? Idea Cellular, 2,400 crores worth of transactions in the recently listed FPO. Nothing much here. How about NSE 500? The Nifty is flat as flat can be, 60 points lower, 22,340. Top gainers in this are, okay, Happiest Minds, surprise, 2% higher, 836. Bombay Stock Exchange 2.5% higher, 3207. And Rail Vikas Nigam Limited 2.3% higher, 290.9. Sakshi, what are you seeing?
Well, Shell, I think Vodafone has listed at, the FPO has listed at 12.6. It's now lower by about 0.2, 0.3% odd. So we'll continue to watch out for this one as well. Not as bad as what the pre-opening was definitely showing as of now. So 12.9 currently. It's improving from the lowest point as well. As far as LTI Mindtree is concerned, after the earnings, it's dipped 2.2%. Revenue and margins came in lower than expectations as for LTI Mindtree. Of course, we've discussed Kotak Mahindra Bank and Axis Bank. Apart from this, in the FNO space, it's Bharat Forge that's going to be in the positive zone today. So 4.5% higher. That one we will continue to watch. Remember, yesterday it was Gaurang Shah who mentioned that Bharat Forge, BEL, HAL, BHEL, Paras Defense, these are the kind of stocks is where he believes that investors should continue to invest in with a long-term view on the entire defense pack. And today the stock is inching up higher too. Apart from this, Z Entertainment Enterprises is again up today in the FNO space, 3% higher for this one. United Breweries continues its move from yesterday again. Again, one of the top movers in the FNO space. It's up by about 1.8%. AU Small Finance Bank, after the earnings, uptick can be seen on this one, and the brokerage houses reports also coming in positive, 1.5% higher for this too. Deepak Nitrite, again the chemicals and the fertilizer space will be in action again today, so you can see about a 0.9% of an increase on this one. Oracle Financial Services about 1% higher in the FNO space again, and Piramal Enterprises, that's another one that's moving in the green zone as of now. Among the top movers on the Nifty, now some of the IT names are coming back. HCL Technologies up by 1%, and you also have Tata Consultancy Services up by about 0.3%. Tech Mahindra is also up by about 0.3% in trade right now, and you also have Infosys that's inching up higher. So among the top 10 movers that we are looking at into the markets, at least 4 or 5 are from the IT space names again. Apart from Axis Bank, that continues to inch higher now, 3% up for this one. You're also looking at Tata Motors, that's coming up in trade, 0.2% higher for this one. HDFC Bank looking up as well, 0.2% higher for this. And SBI from the public sector banks, that's also inching up higher as of now. The oil and gas basket also looks positive, with IOC ticking higher by 1% right now. And we'll also keep an eye out on BPCL and HPCL, all three of them in the positive zone for today. And the power space is again buzzing. So REC, PFC, NHPC, NTPC, Power Grid, these are the stocks that are again in the thick of action, Shell.
Let's look at the most active counters. No surprise here. Kotak Bank, about 2100 crores worth of shares have been transacted at the 10% lower circuit. In terms of sheer activity, this is 2.9 times the 5-day average. So you can well see the kind of, how should I say, hectic buying and selling that's happening in Kotak. The first 10 minutes of trade will determine how the circuit will move. But I don't know whether to top this as positively or not, but the amount of block deals that are happening on Kotak is phenomenal. The most recent one was for 12 crores 80 lakhs. The one bigger to that one was 27 crores 95 lakhs. Another big one at 29 crores 53 lakhs. These are single transactions. Another one, 50 crores almost in a single transaction on Kotak Bank at about 2,95,000 shares. So whether we like it or not, there is some kind of buying happening at the 10% circuit limit. Only time will tell, will the circuit move lower or will the circuit move higher? We'll just be keeping an eye out on that. Let me look at some other bulk deals that have happened. And good moves coming in on Geo Finance, 0.7% higher, 384, about 404 crores worth of transactions have happened. Anything in the positive that I can make out in terms of names? Nothing as such. How about all-time highs? United Breweries, 2.5% higher, 2082. Redington, this was a stock that was highlighted by Ruchit Jain yesterday in terms of BTST, record high, 4.7% higher, 230.8. You have a strong move coming into Lodha Developers, 1254, 0.2% higher. No stopping Aisha Motors, 1.5% higher. Fresh record high, 45.81. Ambuja Cement, Apar Industries and Lloyd's Metals are amongst the winners in terms of a fairly decent move. Ambuja Cement, I think, needs to be looked at, 648 for me. This was one of the stocks that we had highlighted yesterday. Spanking new record high coming into Ambuja Finance, and that's being appreciated across the markets. Remember, its smaller twin ACC will be declaring earnings today within the FNO space, and ACC for the moment, let's look at what ACC is doing. The price action will be there on the screen. Reddington, 4.5% higher, decent block deals happening here. Sakshi, what are you seeing?
Well, Shail, let me just first talk about the statement that Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla is giving to all the reporters. We'll be shortly awaiting the bite as well to play for our viewers as well. KM Birla has said on the FPO listing of Vodafone Idea that this is a fresh lease of life for the company. I also quote and say when he has mentioned that we have been in the sector for 2.5 decades, which shows our commitment to the country and to the services that we do. So those are the two important statements coming in from Mr. K.M. Birla, and we'll be awaiting for the bite to play out as well. Axis Bank inching higher now, 3.5% up right now. So a very strong move can be seen on this one as of now. Apart from this, let's also look at the broader markets where some of the big moves can be seen. Remember, we've been talking about some electronic space, smartphone related stocks like Dixon Technologies that have been showing us some upticks. Today, it's the turn of Reddington that's showing a smart uptick today, and 7.2% higher as well. This kind of a move can be seen on this one. And I think it was I believe it was yesterday that we had got one recommendation on this one on Reddington too. I'll try and fish out which is the guest who actually gave us this bite. But apart from this, some of the other movers at this point in time, you have landmark property developers as far as the real estate space is concerned. A very strong move can be seen on this one. I think about 10% uptick is being seen on this. MAS Financial Services, the company came out with the earnings, and you can see a very sharp move of around 6.5%. 7% now on this one after the earnings. That's again another one. Remember, we've been talking about the diagnostic space, so Divis Laboratories, so the smaller players like Jyoti Labs, they're also showing us some uptick today, 5.5% higher in trade right now. Again, the green energy space is buzzing. KPI Green Energy is up by 5%. Hind Rectifiers is up by 5% as well. So those are some of the other stocks that are in the thick of action from the broader markets. A very strong move is being seen across this space as well. And we'll be now waiting by for Rajesh Palvia to join us and to give us his own take on the markets very, very shortly. Anything else meanwhile, Shail, that you've seen?
Yes, I think railway is ticking fairly strongly. IRFC will be a stock to watch, and the counter is at 151.80. The gains here at about 1.5%. You have a strong move coming into Texrail, 2% higher, 182.30. The PSU pack is fairly strong. RVNL, RITES, RailTel, IRCON, IRCTC and IRFC. All 6 of them buzzing very strongly and on very decent volumes. A couple of stocks that I am keenly watching are Federal Bank. I think this is a rub-off that is coming because of the strong numbers that Axis Bank has given. Federal at the moment is 154.80. It's 0.5% higher, but fairly strong moves coming in. And as I had pointed out yesterday, there will be a digit change in Hindustan Aeronautics, and that's happened. Now the counter is at a record high, but in the 4,000 rupee range. So fairly strong moves coming there. IRCTC has moved again into a digit change, 1036, 1% higher, now back into the 1000 rupee range after a very long while. Good morning to you, Rajesh ji. We've been waiting for a very long while. Listen to your views. What would you do with Kotak Mahindra Bank down at the 10% circuit? क्या लगता है आपको?
Good morning, Shelji. So sorry for delay. I was stuck in traffic. So you know about the Mumbai traffic. So it's unpredictable. So Kotak Bank, yeah. So there is a downtake in Kotak Bank, and now the immediate support area for the Kotak Bank on the downside is placed at around, major support area is at around 1680, 1650. That's the next major support area for the Kotak Bank on the lower side, but almost we are trading near to 1650 zone. So if at all Kotak Bank not manages to hold above 1650, I think there would be another round of supply pressure we can see going forward. Because if we analyze the long-term structure for Kotak Bank, it's now approaching to its multiple support zone area, which is holded by the stock in last 2-3 years. So 1650 is very critical for the Kotak Bank in this decline. So I think stock is already down. So I think again those who wants to short, I think they should wait for some pullback. Towards 1730, 1740 zone. Then only initiate short position. But if it's again slip below to 1650. So those who are high risk trader can take some position on the short side, but below 1650 it is closed, then possible down move can extend towards 1600 also for the Kotak Bank. So this is very important to see 1650 level in today's trading session.
Apart from Kotak, any other stock that you are watching, Rajesh ji? I had wanted to ask you about Axis Bank, but regulatory stances prevent you from quoting about Axis Bank. Apart from that, anything that catches your fancy on the long side? Axis is moving very smartly, 1104, and now I see a lot of block deals happening. Regretting our inability to get you a technical view on Axis Bank, but Rajesh ji, what looks good on the charts?
So I think Shelji, Bharat Forge is looking very attractive, and the way stock is now approaching to its previous swing high, I think Bharat Forge can continue its upward momentum, and possibly towards the expiry we can see a good run up in the stock. 1320, 1340 could be the possible target where Bharat Forge can move. So I think one can look to buy this stock with stop loss of 1245. And another stock that the theme which is continuously moving in upward direction, that is defensive theme, and I think from that space Bharat Electronics is also looking promising. BEL, the way stock is now trading near to its April series highest point, and the way stock is moving in the weekly chart, it's moving in upsloping channel. So that clearly shows that there is a sustained buying action is taking place in this stock, and possible upside target for BL we can see in the towards 250 to 255 in the continuation of this up move. So I think BL is also buy. One can buy this stock in any minor dip. Keep your stop loss at around 233. And the third stock is from the banking space. Again, we like very much on the PSU banking space, and we believe that post this expiry, PSU banks are looking very promising. And the way most of the PSU bank like SBI, Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda is moving, we believe that post expiry this stock can exhibit good amount of rally and possible upward momentum we can see from most of the PSU banks. So SBI is also buy, and we expect this rally can extend towards 820 to 830. So buy for 2 to 3 day time perspective, and keep your stop loss at around 750.
Okay, got that. Rajesh ji, very good morning to you. How are you looking at Vodafone Idea after the FPO is listed? It's now up 2.2%. A lot of viewers and investors would be wanting to know, should they book the profits? Should they hold on? Should they buy afresh? How would you advise?
So Sakshi, I think those who have bought this stock in FPO for arbitrage perspective, so they may be booking some profit as everybody has received the a share in their demat. So I think once this supply pressure absorbed in today's session, so I think there is a high possibility that stock may continue its upward momentum, and possibly once stock crosses again above 1400 14 or 1420 kind of zone. So I think then next target for Vodafone Idea we could see towards 16 also. So those who have already bought just for the arbitrage or for this quick money kind of trade setups, they can book profit because they are getting around 2 rupees after this FPO. So I think they can book profit, but those who wants to hold for positional perspective, they can hold it on with stop loss of around 1240 1250 zone. I think there is a high probability stock may attempt to give breakout above 14 level, and possible target we can see towards 16 to 18 also.
Okay, right. Let's also focus a bit on the entire defense space that's again on the buzz today. Rajesh ji, Bharat Forge, HAL, BEL, they're again surging and there is no let up in this kind of a rally. Which are the stocks that you feel are now poised to carry this momentum further, and where can investors make more money now?
So I think as I already mentioned about Bharat Forge, Bharat Electronics, I think one can look for BDL also, Bharat Dynamics, as well as Cochin Shipyard also. HL is continuously moving in upward trajectory. So I think these all stocks are looking very promising from the defense space. And I think the way the buyer interest is there in defense theme, I think this really can continue further extend from here onward. So I think one should adopt a buy on dips kind of strategy. We like most of the stocks. BL, Bharat Forge, HL, BDL, Cochin Shipyard, all these stocks are in our buying list. So you may get trading opportunities also in this stock due to volatility in market. And those who wants to invest for short to medium term perspective also, all these stocks are looking very promising. The way Bharat BDL has given a breakout, I think that stock can also continue its upward momentum, and possible upside target for BDL we can see in the near term towards 21 20 21 40 also. So Bharat Dynamics also buy with stop loss of 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to mark Kotak Bank. The circuit has opened and it has not gone down. So it's still down 9%, but it has not accelerated the fall, and that is a very, very big positive. Let's give it another 10 odd minutes and see what is going to happen. Remember, the low was 1658. That was the 10% circuit. It's now at 1674. Rajesh ji, would you want to say something about Kotak? For a very aggressive trader, what should one do?
So as we discuss also, 1650 needs to watch. So those who are aggressive trader, they can play for pullback trade also, because 1650 they have to keep very tight stop loss. Though it's a knee-jerk reaction to the news flow, I don't know how Kotak is going to handle that RBI red flag. So I think if it's hold a 1650 for trading perspective, 1650 is the key level for intraday perspective. If it's not break, some pullback could be there around 1700 1720, but again 1720 one needs to again closely watch that level, because 1720 is the key level now for Kotak Bank on the higher side. If it's not crosses those level, I think again supply pressure would be there, because at this level shorters won't get risk to reward in their favor, so they will wait for some pullback action. And that's why if you want to play some pullback, keep your 15-20 rupees stop loss to buy for pullback around 1700 to 1720, book profits around those level, and you can try again to short around those level also with stop loss of 1740.
Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, I had said that 22,340 would be a very decent point to enter the Nifty, and that is exactly what has happened. Given the very strong uptick on Axis Bank, which is now up 4.5%, and the pain that is easing out on Kotak Bank, it has helped the Nifty to move higher from its intraday lows. Therefore, Rajesh ji, 22,400 call on the Nifty expiring on May 2nd. What do you think of it?
So, Shalji, our view on Nifty is bullish, and we are expecting that, post this expiry, Nifty is likely to hit all-time high, and possibly this is just an adjustment for the expiry. And as the most of the call writers are still active at 22, 400,
Yes.
500 zone, and we believe that post expiry, yes, there would be another rally in the very first week of May series, and possibly new all-time high we can see. 22,400 call option, yes, definitely one can buy for 1 to 2 days time frame. 149 is the current market price. I think 2nd May expiry, 22,400 call option one can buy with stop loss of 115. And on the high side, we expect this rally can extend, and 220 to 240 could be the possible target in next couple of trading sessions.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll look at the pullers and draggers on the Nifty, and I'll first put out Axis Bank, 5% higher almost. It's contributing 34 points in the positive as far as Nifty is concerned. ICICI Bank is contributing 11 points. SBI 5, HCL Tech and Sun Pharma about 4 points each. Now, what is pulling the Nifty lower? That's Kotak Bank, 62 points in the red as far as the Nifty is concerned. So on a net level, it's a negative for the Nifty, but improvements happening as we speak. Remember, the low was 1658, the counters at 1670. My understanding is that in a very short moment, you'll see the Nifty moving back up in the green, and you'll also see the same thing happening on Nifty Bank. Remember, other indices, the Nifty IT index, the Nifty 500 index have already moved in the green, and if you look at the overall advance decline ratio, it's positive. 1239 stocks in the green, 700 in the red, and we tracked 19 indices for you, ladies and gentlemen. Out of 19, about 11 are in the green. The PSU banking index, the top performer, 0.8% higher, 7195. Anything that catches your interest, Rajesh ji, can I request you to at least make an exception and make a technical call on Axis Bank?
No, I'll refrain to give any view on Axis Bank as per policy. But the way banking stocks are moving up, and the way most of the banking stocks, except Kotak Bank, is moving up, we are holding our bullish view on Bank Nifty, and we believe that this rally can extend in Bank Nifty also. And possible upside target for Bank Nifty, we are projecting towards 48,800. Maybe today there is an expiry, so there could be some possibility that 48,500 may act as a supply zone, but possible up move we can see towards 48,800 for Bank Nifty in the next couple of trading session, and that may help Nifty also to move further higher to scale to the new all-time high also.
Okay. Rajesh ji, there's one stock which we have probably never discussed on market today, and that is MAS Financials. If you look at the stock is up 9.5%, and this is after the earnings, where the disbursements have improved 15%. The AUM has given a positive surprise as well of a sharp uptake. How do you look at this stock? Is this a stock that one should now track?
So very strong buying action in MAS Financial, and the way stock has managed to give breakout of its long consolidation of almost 6 weeks. We believe that this momentum can extend, and possible upside target we could see towards 340 to 350 in the continuation of this up move. So I think those who have already bought the stock at lower price, they can hold on their position, and with stop loss of 318. And we believe that the way stock has broken out its consolidation range with the huge volume action is taking place, I think that really can extend towards 340 to 350 kind of zone.
Okay, got that. So that's the view coming in on MAS Financials. Just wanted to highlight that stock with a very strong move today. Now it's inching towards the day's high again. A 10% move could be coming in. Yes, it is on your screens, 10.1% higher. It's constantly inching higher after the earnings as well. Let me spot some other, space and sectors and stocks that one can look at. Pharma space, is that looking interesting to you, Rajesh ji? We are looking at Sun Pharma really moving higher in trade towards the high point, and I think 1% higher in trade as well. Syngene after the earnings is showing us some uptick. There was Divi's, there was Dr. Reddy's Laboratories from the kind of laboratory space that we are in, the entire space buzzing. Is there a momentum that one should be looking at here to chase?
So definitely, some of the pharma stocks are looking promising on a technical ground, and the way first one is Ipca. The way stock is holding the ground at higher level, we believe that this stock can also start another round of rally, and possible target for Ipca we could see towards 1400, kind of zone on the higher side. So Ipca is a buy. Even the Biocon is also looking promising. The way stock managed to give breakout, and the way stock has showing the strength on the derivative front. Also, stock managed to view breakout of falling trend line on a weekly chart. So we believe that till Biocon is holding about 285, 284 kind of zone. There is a possible upside we can see towards 305 to 310 also. Even Sun Pharma is also looking promising from the pharma space. And we believe that on the Sun Pharma in this correction, one should use this decline as a buying opportunity, as long-term trend for Sun Pharma is on the bullish side. So this decline should be used as a buying opportunity. Even if you get opportunity to buy this stock around 17, 1470, 1465 kind of zone, it's again attractive level to re-enter in Sun Pharma. Your stop loss should be placed at around 1440. And I think again, once the stock manages to cross above 1520, 1530 kind of zone, then possible rally can extend in Sun Pharma, and we can see target towards 1600 also. So all these three, four stocks are looking promising on a technical ground. So I think one can look to buy this stock. Sakshi, I wanted to highlight one stock also that is moving up. That is Grasim. Grasim is
Yeah.
looking very promising, and the way stock is now trading at all-time high trajectory. I think this stock can be looked at. I think this stock can have potential to move further higher towards 2400 to 2450. So Grasim is a buy. Keep your stop loss now at around 2325.
And I think, Rajesh, along with Vodafone, the entire Aditya Birla pack will be in focus today. So, along with Grasim, AB Capital, AB Fashion Retail, Indus Tower, we look at the entire basket again through and throughout because of this space, because this space has been buzzing with the kind of FPO overhang was there. Shell.
Grasim in particular needs to be watched for one very simple reason. It's the holding parent company of Vodafone Idea. 6.62% equity stake of Vodafone is held by Grasim, and that's the positive rub-off that's happening on Grasim at the moment. Needless to say, it is at a record high. Let me just see what is the volume that is coming in on Grasim. It's to the vicinity of about 1700 crore rupees. So that's fairly substantial in terms of what the transaction is happening. No let up, absolutely no let up in defense. Record high on BDL, record high on Cochin Shipyard, Garden Reach Shipbuilders, and of course Hindustan Aeronautics. Mazgaon Dock is also moving very strongly, 2370. Rajesh ji, any view coming in on Mazgaon Dock?
So I think most of the defense stocks are clearly in buying mode, and I think Mazda Dock is also moving higher, and the way stock managed to view breakout of its flag formation on daily chart. So I think that really can extend, and 2450, 2500 could be the possible target we can see in the near term perspective. So Mazda Dock is also buy. I think one can keep a stop loss of 2330. Possible target we can see towards 2500 also in the this stock. So I think Selji, the defense is the clear theme where there is no significant downside we have seen in last couple of months. Whatever minor dips are coming to this theme, buyers are ready to buy whatever stocks are coming down to their near-term support area. I think HAL, BL, Bharat Forge, Bharat Dynamics, Mazgaon Dock, Cochin Shipyard, all are moving almost near to their all-time high trajectory. So I think that clearly shows that there is a confidence on the street for most of the defense stock. So those who are momentum trader or player for short term also, they can also look to buy all these stocks whenever you get any volatility in market. It's a great opportunity to trade in these stocks also, as well as those who are positional trader or investor. They can hold on and they can keep trailing their stop losses as the trend is there in most of the stocks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a bit of a disappointment on Kotak Bank. Now the 10% lower circuit has been breached. So it was an intraday high of 1671. The counters slipped much lower, 1651 for you, down about 10.37%. It's not looking good. Please do not short the counter. Volume is very, very substantial. 5,238 crores have already been traded. There is a bit of selling pressure. Let's just say profit booking happening on Axis Bank as well. The Nifty now 12 points lower, 22,372, unable to breach 22,400, and similarly at 48,200 there's a very, very strong resistance coming in for the Bank Nifty as well. But what's going strong? If Mr. Palvia mentions that he likes a stock, that stock will go strong. Bharat Forge, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very strong breakout, and we are most likely headed to an all-time high 1322. The breakout is phenomenal. We have just had 34 minutes of trade, and in 34 minutes of trade, yesterday's volume has been breached. 14 lakh 50,000 shares have been traded. Rajeshji, would you want to revisit Bharat Forge?
I think we have a strong buy view on this stock, and the way stock is moving up, we believe that yes, 1330, 1340 could be the target where we can see in the stock in next one or two trading session. And I think stock is holding the ground at a long-term chart also, and the way stock has shown some minor dip in last couple of months, and now again the stock is moving and holded the its upsloping trend line support area on the monthly chart. So I think long-term trend is clearly intact for the stock, and the way stock is moving up, the sector tailwind is also supporting. So I think the positional target, those who wants to hold for short to medium term perspective, they can hold on the stock, and we have a view that stock can have a higher target 1450, 1500 kind of level also going forward. But for trading perspective, 1330, 1340 is the level where one can book some partial profit.
Okay. Bharat Forge is also a defense play, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the reason why you see the sinking that's happening with the 4 or 5 other PSU defense stocks that we keep on tracking. Remember, the all-time high on Bharat Forge is somewhere in the vicinity of 1322 rupees. We are almost there, 6-7% higher today, and the volume is very substantial, about 200 crores worth of transactions that have happened. Two stock split and bonus candidates at record high, KSP Pumps and Inox Wind. I'd rather not take a view on them because they are already fairly strongly moving in a very big trajectory on the long side. SBI days high 1% higher, 780. Rajeshji, your view on SBI?
Yeah, definitely. We have a bullish view on most of the PSU bank, and SBI is our preferred choice at this moment. And 820, 830 is the possible target where we can see. And we have a view that post expiry there could be a rally in possible rally in PSU bank, and we like SBI, Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, as well as PNB. All four banks which are part of derivative, I think one can keep on their buying radar. Possible rally we can see in the very first week of May series for most of the PSU bank. I think SBI is a buy. 820, 830 is possible target. Keep your stop loss at around now 765.
Okay. Viewers, let's share with you. We now have the Kumar Mangalam Birla bite on the Vodafone Idea FPO, the chairperson of the Aditya Birla Group, right here, talking about the successful FPO and what are the plans going forward. Let's listen in.
5G selectively across the network. So that's a task cut out for us. I think that we're very happy. This is a a new life for Vodafone Idea, and we look forward to being an outstanding service provider to our customers.
So on the debt servicing front, any timelines on that on that kind of?
So actually, we have only 4,000 crores of debt due to banks. So we're quite debt heavy, debt light in that sense.
So on the debt front, we've already spoken about the banking debt, but on the government debt, that's the larger part of debt, right? So considering that, and we've talked about equity dilution, that's the government package, but that will lead to a lot of equity dilution for the shareholders. So how will that be a beneficial
It's a little
story?
premature to talk about that just now. I mean, we'll have to just play it as it comes.
All right,
So in
Mr.
terms
Birla,
of Indus
thank you
Towers,
so much.
Indus Towers stake, any word on that? Whether
Nothing just now. There's no definitive path that we are on.
All right, Mr. Birla, many congratulations on this big fundraise. Do you think that most of the problems of Vodafone Idea that the group had been struggling with over many years, that is sorted for the next few years with this issuance?
I think so. I mean, without a doubt, right? I mean, we've been in the sector for 2.5 decades now, which shows our commitment to the sector and to digital India.
Yes.
And this is, like I said, a fresh lease of life for the company.
And what about Industar stake sale? Do you have an arrangement with Vodafone PLC that the entire amount of their stake sale proceeds will be infused in this listed company?
Well, not really, but we're going to see as it comes. So nothing
What
specific at this point.
percentage, as per the arrangement, what percentage is there?
I think we are not talking about
Yes.
industry
Yeah.
here, please.
All right, and the government stake sale, is there any indication on that at any point to
Stake sale, we're not
monetize?
talking about stake sale at all.
At
I
some
don't know.
point they would like to monetize it. Do we have any
I
understanding?
think you're jumping many guns. I don't think that's the plan at all as of now. Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thanks. Congratulations.
All right, so that was Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla talking about their commitment to Digital India and the sector as they've been here, and they do believe some of the worries are now behind them as of now as well. Vodafone Idea, right now, if you look at the kind of move that we are looking at the share price in the FNO space, of course, there's a 2.5% uptick, and around 13.2 is the level at which it is really moving at as of now. Rajesh, what else have you tracked in the interim? Anything that caught your attention that you would like to highlight?
I think Sakshi, one can look to buy Balrampur Chini also. That this stock is also showing strength, and the way stock has moved up in last couple of trading session, I think in next couple of days we could see a rally in Balrampur Chini also. Technical structure is looking promising, and we are projecting target of 410 to 415 for Balrampur Chini. So one can look to buy this stock also. As we pointed out on the PSU Bank, I think Bank of Baroda, one can also look for buying. Stock is, now trying to break out, give the breakout above last 2-3 days consolidation range. And I think the way stock is holding the ground on the short to medium term structure, we expect that, Bank of Baroda can also exhibit good amount of rally in next couple of trading session. 275 to 80 could be the possible target. One can buy this stock with stop loss of 256. And from cash segment, I think the one stock that we are focusing at this moment is CIE India. That stock is also, penetrating now its multiple supply zone. So the way stock has moved up in last couple of week, we believe that, once stock crosses above 498, 500 zone, then possible really we can see towards 540 to 550 also. CIE India is also looking promising from this pack.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nifty is in the green, just as I had pointed out, and now above 22,400. What's contributing to this fabulous up move? From the day's low of about 22,310, remember the index has moved higher to about 90 points. And if you see the Bank Nifty, the rally has been even sharper. From a low of about 47,740, the index has moved to 48,180. So that's a move of about 400 points. Therefore, the morning commentary makes sense. Please listen to support levels and resistance levels as far as calls and puts and options are concerned. They make a lot of sense if you look at them from buying the dip perspective. What's contributing to this uptick? Axis Bank 1106, 4% higher. It's contributing 29 points to Nifty's positivity. ICICI Bank 17 points to the positivity. SBI 6 points in the green, and Reliance and HCL Tech bringing up the uptick as far as Nifty is concerned. What is also at a week's high? Canara Bank, which is the top performing index. The Nifty PSU banking index is now almost up by about 1.5%, and all 12 stocks, PSU banking stocks, are in the green. Strong move coming in on Bank of Baroda, 1.4% higher. Canara Bank 1.6% higher. You have Maharashtra Bank now 65.65. This is also about 0.5% higher, and that drills down to all other lower sectors. Absolutely no stopping the defense space. All of them are in the green. The 5 PSU defense counters are on a very strong offensive trip, and 4 of them are at a record high, primarily Cochin, Garden Reach, Bharat Dynamics, Hindustan Aeronautics, and BEL. So overall, it's been a fantastic day as far as the markets are concerned, except for the major accident that's happened on Kotak Mahindra Bank. The monthly expiry of the Nifty is an eventful day. Let's hope it passes off peacefully. Sakshi.
Right, time to wind up this session then. Many thanks, Rajesh, for being with us on the show and discussing with us many stocks and ideas. The Nifty now flat absolutely and above 22,400 mark as well. So 22,400 back with the Nifty right now. The Nifty Bank is also recovering from the low point, 0.05% down still. However, at 48,161 odd levels. And amidst the top movers, of course, are Axis Bank, HCL Technologies, Sun Pharma, SBI, Grasim, and ICICI Bank as the top movers on the Nifty. On the laggards front, you do have Kotak Mahindra Bank, that's still down 10%. You also have Tata Consumer Products, HUL, LTI Mindtree after the earnings, Shriram Finance and SBI Life Insurance, SBI, HDFC Life as well. These are the counters that are dragging as far as the Nifty is concerned. But in the F&O space, it's Bharat Forge that continues to tick higher, 6% now up in trade. Along with it, Axis Bank, Vodafone Idea, Aditya Birla Capital, Z Entertainment and MCX. These are the top movers as far as the F&O space is concerned. But what we'll do, viewers, is we'll wind up this special edition right here. But do stay tuned on to Business Today Television as a whole host of interesting conversations around earnings and, of course, the developments around Kotak Mahindra Bank and other developments. We'll continue to bring you in separate videos all across the day as far as Business Today Television is concerned. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Meanwhile, it's a goodbye from both Shail and me.
Hello, Namaskar. You're watching BTTV. I'm Tanya Neja. Well, foreign portfolio investors have been on a selling spree in the Indian stock market in the last few sessions, and experts believe that one of the major reasons for FPIs pulling out funds from the Indian markets is said to be the ongoing geopolitical crisis in the Middle East. Well, in this video, we are going to tell you all about the FPI's activity in the Indian stock market, what they are buying, what they are selling, everything. So according to the National Securities Depository data, foreign investors have offloaded shares worth 12,525 odd crore rupees across 8 sectors in the first half of April. It is also important to note that overseas investors were buyers of Indian equities worth 17,932 odd crore rupees across 15 sectors between April 1st and 15th of April. However, they have pulled out substantial amount of money